Yeah, so fair warning, this is a topic that I feel pretty passionate about, and so I'm probably going to talk a lot. But you can expect to see videos of what's going on, and I will give a detailed breakdown of everything that's happening on the ground. But you're probably going to have to sit through a lot of ranting because this is a hot button topic for me. He's literally wearing a sweatshirt that says, "I'm a drug dealer," and then throwing up gang signs behind her. And she's like, "It's a mostly peaceful protest. It's a great scene. Everyone is, singing Kumbaya while they walk down the streets in lockstep, in solidarity, standing up against the tyranny that is this current administration." You're all, is that really what you think is going on? Or do you have a gang member and drug dealer making fun of you right behind you as you call a riot and a bunch of looters mostly peaceful again? So as we get into another day of riots, mass looting, burning, violent attacks, etc. in LA, New York now, Chicago as well, almost like it's organized, I think I'm going to start this off before we start getting into the details of what's actually going on after Trump deployed 2,000 National Guardsmen to LA. I just want to pose the following question to you guys, okay? So let's say, hypothetically, that you were a person who cared about the overall sentiment of the country as it relates to immigration and immigrants in the country, right? So you would think that if you do an organized event of any kind, you would want to demonstrate that you are good additions to society, right? It's like, look, man, we're here to work. We're here to do what we want to do. We want you to feel safe. We just want you to accept us as part of your community. And you're like, well, there is a process by which you can do that, It doesn't include swimming, through the Rio Grande or sneaking underneath barbed wire. I realize that the previous administration allowed that stuff, but, we're enforcing the rules now, like every other country on planet Earth, right? So it is what it is. It's like, so you want us to support you being here. They're all, yeah, you're all, what do you think would be a good way to do that? They're all, let's burn everything. Like, let's throw a temper tantrum and destroy police cars, demonstrate that, this group of people, right? Some of them illegal immigrants, I'm sure, and some of them not, but definitely representing illegal immigrants to the wider society who's got eyeballs on this. They're all, let's cause mass chaos in all the major cities, because that's for sure going to drive a lot of support for us. It's like these people there's never been a group of people who are better at turning public sentiment against them. It's unbelievable. And, the reason, in my opinion, my educated opinion, is that you have these think tanks and operatives and these this big money left-wing stuff that funds these things, organizes them online, makes sure they happen. 2020, BLM, all that, you think all of that was just happening by happenstance? Okay, there's dark money behind these things. And why are they doing it? Why were they doing it in 2020? Well, it was an election year, right? It's an election year, and they wanted America to feel like this country is destabilized. It's absolute chaos. Look at what's going on under this guy. We've got a global virus. There's absolutely insane violence in the streets. This is all because he's in the big office. Okay, well, the thing is, we've seen this movie before, guys. And if you haven't been paying attention, we are the vast majority now. The people who watch that just gritting our teeth, kind of like, wait, I just want to make sure I understand that I am not allowed to leave my house because it is so terrifying that someone might contract this or that. However, I am allowed to leave the house and go to the street completely packed with people face to face because racism is a bigger issue than this thing that you shut down society for. Now, if you don't want me to shut down society, you need to subscribe to my channel and like this video, because I'll do it. I will. I can see that you didn't like the video yet. Excuse me, Mr. President. I need you to implement prima nocta and shut down society again. What? It's like anybody who lived through that moment and didn't recognize that you were on the side of illogical morons, you are exactly that. Now, really quick before we move on, we're going to get into the details of everything that's going on the ground, videos, etc. But I want to show you the sponsor of this video real quick, and then we're going to go and get after it. Okay, real talk for a second. You ever feel like your entire paycheck vanishes the second it hits your account? Like you're busting your ass, but you're still buried under credit cards, personal loans, and medical bills. That's not by accident. The system is designed to keep people stuck. Now, I wouldn't be sticking salt in your wounds if there wasn't a way out, and it's called PDS Debt. PDS does a lot more than just help you manage your debt. They empower you to take control. With their technology, they go beyond the numbers to really understand your situation. And that means no more cookie cutter solutions, just a clear path to financial freedom that fits your lifestyle. No minimum credit score, no BS. Over 100,000 customers have already used PDS to resolve over $500 million in debt. Your path to financial freedom starts with a 30-second free debt assessment. Stop letting your money work for everyone except you. Go to pdsdebt.com/Jesse and start digging out for good. All right, so let's start taking a look at some of the information or some videos from the ground, and then we'll look at what's going on in New York, because all of a sudden there's a riot in New York also. But just take a look at this. Just look how this is being covered, okay?
Most of the crowds, again, that I saw, that I spoke to, that I was interacting with, these are peaceful people that want to get their message across. They brought signs. They're out with families in some places. And others are obviously more agitant, have the mask on, and reportedly, I didn't see this, but reportedly throwing things back at authorities that are trying to do.
Oh, I saw those things. Throwing things back, okay?
Because the president of the United States is...
There are very strict rules on what I can show on YouTube in terms of, monetization, and anything that even resembles violence will get me immediately demonetized. But I'm going to show you as much as I can, and I will tell you right now, there are two things that I saw and that had a heavy impact. One of them was a group of police officers who were in a circle back to back, and they were having things thrown at them from all directions. There was like smoke and like tear gas and all this stuff, and the people were just launching stuff at them, and they were literally like this because they were getting like attacked from all sides. Okay. So that, and then I saw 2 burning police cars in the middle of the streets. Okay. Let me tell you what I am sick, not sick of, I'm done seeing, is burning police cars in the streets where it's been lit by leftist, like protester, rioter, looter, lunatics. I'm done with it, dude. Okay. And I can promise you that my sentiment is identical to that of everyone who is, who votes the way I do. Okay. Which is the majority. And I'll tell you why that matters, is because this is exactly what happened in 2020. And they were daring him to, to deploy National Guard. They wanted him to do that because they wanted it to look like the country's out of control. Look at all this stuff. So, but then he had to worry about re-election. He doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Okay. He deployed 2,000 troops. Do you know how many people that is? 2,000 troops to Los Angeles. That's a lot. And I am not sure what constitutes, the guideline where, I don't want to sound like I'm inciting anything, but what I want to say is I would love to see violent rioters met with the exact same thing. It's like, that is the reason why police carry batons and tasers and guns, etc., is because there are violent people out there. Civilization cannot run that way. You need to meet force with force. Okay, we've seen the way. I mean, I didn't need to see how you guys, prove this in real life. The Summer of Love, the free zone and how that plays out. Okay, I already knew it's gonna be Lord of the Flies in there. It's inevitable. People are gonna start getting hurt and killed, and it's just gonna be lawless nonsense. No, it's a Summer of Love. Really? Who is telling you to do this, George Soros? Do you think that he's doing this because he has the country's best interest at heart? Or do you think that he is actively and has been trying to destroy the United States? Okay. Like, do you guys, I realize like you just got a bunch of pawns out here. You guys think of like the mayor of LA as like some, big, powerful person. They are literally a stick figure that was given money and put into a chair so that they can tweet what they're told and say what they're told on television. And the person who puts them into that office is doing it for pocket change compared to what they're worth, Soros, etc. And you have to ask yourself, okay, when one entity is putting all of these DAs into these different offices and mayors, etc., and they all are, displaying a clear lack of prioritizing law and order, you got to ask yourself why. Wait, so San Francisco, you're allowed to steal up to $1,000 worth of goods and you're not going to get in any trouble? Is that the kind of law that makes sense to anyone who cares about civilization? No. This is someone who's trying to destabilize the country and break our country, Like when this was all happening in 2020, this was happening at the same time that they orchestrated a way where we printed $10 trillion out of thin air. Hey, did we have a debt problem before that? Was there any talk about the national debt prior to them making what seemed like a rash decision to just shut all of civilization down and then just print? I think 10 trillion might have been total. I think for us it might have been 5 trillion. I don't know. I look into it, but it was like $5 trillion just printed. Oh, I wonder if that's going to affect inflation and then drive us closer to bankruptcy in the United States. Like, if you think that this is not intentional, you are an idiot, okay? So, anyway, let's watch some more of this, and then we got a lot more to talk about.
The reality is we see peaceful protests launching in Los Angeles. And again, any violence against police officers should not be accepted. Local authorities can handle that. But remember, a lot of these peaceful protests are being generated because the President of the United States is sowing chaos and confusion by arresting people who are showing up for their immigration hearings, who are trying to abide by them.
Okay, I can't believe that I have to say this on this video, okay? I cannot believe that this is the video that I have to say this, but I am bound to my principles. I can't help it, dude. Because I just want to make sure that the point that I am trying to get across here is that riots, this kind of behavior is so unacceptable that if what someone decided to do was completely let the dogs off the leash and they're like, hey, if they want to get down, hey, did you become a police officer because you didn't want to fight people? Or like, the National Guard, it's like, I assume that you volunteered for this job. Part of you hoped that there would be some kind of bad guy that you'd get to smash. And they're like, well, today is that day, guys. Okay? Let's go crack some fucking heads. I would be ecstatic about that because I am not down with people destroying our cities, obviously. However, I am incapable of talking about a topic and not sharing information that I have. And I had found this out yesterday, okay? So yesterday, there's someone who I know, someone from my jiu-jitsu team who is extremely, extremely high level at Homeland Security. I didn't realize this for years. I knew him, and I didn't realize what he did. And I found this out, within the last few months that that's what he does. And we were just talking. He's actually relocating and to a different. He runs an office around. He runs the whole city, and he's moving to another city, and he runs that. He's going to be running that entire city also. But I was like, so how are things with the move? And he's like, well, it's just been so crazy here. And so we got into a conversation about it. And I'm like, so is it just chaos or what? Like, given the amount of people who are just coming over unvetted. And for the record, he's on the side of the smart people. But what he said was, he's like, they've implemented new tactics in terms of, implement how they are finding, rounding up illegals and then getting them out of there. And one of the things that they're doing is they are canceling. So a person, when they come in, right, in this idiotic way that they were doing this, they come in illegally, they're given a court date, and then they just get to hang out in the United States until then. And that was one of the things that we talked, people have been talking about for years. They're like, that's the dumbest thing ever. That's the stupidest thing ever. And then what if they just no-show the court? Like, how are you going to find them? We have no tracker on them. They're just in the United States now. Okay, well, so what they're doing now is they're canceling their court dates because there's such a huge backlog. They're canceling their court dates. They obviously, generally speaking, they are not finding out about this, and they're showing up for their court date. It's been canceled, and ICE is waiting for them, and they just snap them up and ship them. So, like, I'm just going to be honest. Like, to me, that's pretty fucked up, dude, because what they end up doing is getting the people who are actually trying to do this the right way, and those are the people that are getting shipped with that tactic. And I'm telling you, there is absolutely no question that is happening. Now, at the same time, they came here illegally, dude. Like, they came here illegally. But and honestly, that can just, for plenty of people, that's the end of the conversation. It's like they have ways that they can try to come in here. They did it illegally. That's why they have to go to trial. And so tough shit, they show up and they're not here legally, whatever. Like, I'm not even getting into the legality of this or the ethics of this. I just found this out yesterday, and I just felt compelled to tell you guys that because it's pretty cutthroat, dude, if we're being honest. But it's a gigantic problem to solve, okay? Like, this is, if anybody has a better idea for how to solve, given that we had 50,000 people a day crossing illegally for 4 years. Hey, I'm sure that wasn't part of the Soros plan to destabilize the country. I just got done watching this thing about propaganda in the UK, and it's, it's the same thing over there, but not, they aren't bordered to, like the UK is harder to get to for other countries. There's not like just hey, we can just walk there. So bottom line is this, though. You want to complain about that? You want to complain about how they're doing this? You go ahead and do that. Protest. As soon as you riot, dude. Now, I don't give a fuck what your problem is, dude. Like, I just don't care. I don't care what your problem is. Check this out. Listen to this, okay? So this is exactly what I'm talking about. All right? Listen to what she says. This girl right here. I'm not going to be a prick about it. You can... There are plenty of people being very mean to her about things that are kind of irrelevant related to how she looks. I'm just going to let you listen to what she's saying into a microphone about what's going on there.
They know how quickly we mobilize. That's why they're changing tactics. Because community defense works, and our resistance has slowed them down before. And if they're escalating their tactics, then so are we. When they show up, we got to show up even stronger.
So when they escalate tactics, so do we. Wait, who's that? Oh, an LA city councilwoman. Wait, I'm sorry. Did you just tell a group of rioters to escalate? Did you just actually say that into a microphone? Like people who are burning cop cars and like attacking police? You said they're changing tactics, and so we need to change tactics also and escalate? You said that into a microphone as an LA city council person. Just saying. Feel free to throw her in the slammer,
Giovanna Lotta, you're taking a live look at one of the protests underway in Los Angeles just a few hours after the mass immigration raids. Chris Christie is live in Air 7 with the latest. Chris.
That's right, Giovanna. It's a major protest going on about 2 hours now. Close to 1,000 people now wrapping around the detention facility between Alameda and Los Angeles Street. They started on the front steps of the federal building at 300 Los Angeles, now marching down Aliso. And the lead there is that cat.
Honestly, I don't even care about that. They're just marching. This is what we're talking about here. And this is what those videos I can't show. They're like using things that they've stolen from stores and setting them up as barriers as police like shoot like tear gas and stuff at them. And look at this, dude. This is in an American city. Again. Like it's happening again. And and this is happening because we're removing people who are here illegally. And again, okay? Again, I told you guys about the court dates specifically to demonstrate, like, I'm not some cold-hearted prick, dude. Like, I feel for those people who are trying to do the right thing and they're getting swooped up and shipped out. But if you got a better idea for how to handle this astronomical problem that was, done to us by bad actors who are trying to break the country, you got to break some eggs sometimes to to solve serious problems. I feel for them. But this, like, you lost me, dude. I don't care now. Okay? Like, this is what it was like in 2020. Like, they blocked the freeway. You know, BLM blocked the freeway. And I'm like, you know, kind of earlier on, I'm like, I didn't even, you know, you guys weren't even really on my radar. But now I can't get home. So whatever you stand for, I'm on the other side, and like passionately, okay? Like, I can't stand you fucking people. You blocked the freeway. I can't drive home. What are you doing? Okay. There you go. You got people throwing up gang signs. Oh, I forgot. Hey, take a look at this one. You guys will love this video.
Demonstrations had been going on right outside the Federal Detention Center. Most of those demonstrations were very peaceful. They were chanting, they were shouting. People were driving by, honking their horns. And again, they were expressing their anger about...
very peaceful, whatever. And there's a dude behind her with a sweatshirt that says, I fly PAX. Hey, guys, any of you squares know what I fly PAX means? He's literally wearing a sweatshirt that says, I'm a drug dealer. And then throwing up gang signs behind her. And she's like, it's a mostly peaceful protest. It's a great scene. Everyone is, you know, singing Kumbaya while they walk down the streets in lockstep, in solidarity, standing up against the tyranny that is this current administration. You're all, is that really what you think is going on? Or do you have a gang member and drug dealer making fun of you right behind you as you call a riot and a bunch of looters mostly peaceful? Again. Yeah, so just looking through these pictures, like we're going to wrap up on LA, but just everything burning, just things burning, these guys kicking tear gas back at the cops, back at the law enforcement. It's like they've got, so now 2,000 National Guardsmen. I mean, I really hope that they have, you know, instructions to bang, dude. But Gavin Newsom, of course, and the mayor of LA are acting as though they're on the side of the protesters. It's like, this is a really good idea, you guys. I have a feeling this will play real well for you guys in the elections. You know, just keep it going, dude. Keep it going. I'm about to film a video on this with Gabrielle, and I think we'll get a little bit more into some of the details of what these Democrats are actually saying right now, because I've been talking for like 20 something minutes on this video, and I need to save some energy because I'm going to go nuts on the video I do with Gabrielle. And by the way, if you don't follow my other channel, why not? Play with Matches. Link is in the description. You guys will love it. Anyway, that's what I got. I love you guys. Bye-bye.